Hey, welcome back. We have a fun one here for you today. I wanted to do like a top 5 coolest or most desired or just wildest, I don't know what the right term is, but the top 5 knives and pens in my collection right now. Of course, day to day, my opinions might change on this, but I'm going to do my best. Man, I had to leave out some really cool ones. This one was definitely one of the ones in contention for one of the top 5 pens. Now, it might actually be in the top 5, but what I did challenge myself to do was to only allow one from each maker. So I picked a different one from Smooth Precision Pens over this one as an example. So that was the criteria I gave myself, was top 5. I really wanted to go top 10, of course. That'd be way easier, but I'm like, all right, let's just do it. Top 5 knives and pens in my collection, only one from each maker. We're starting with the Demko AD20, and the reason that this one is so cool is because it's one of the very first ones ever made. It doesn't even have a blade steel etched in the tang of the blade. So this is like one of the very first full textured titanium 8020s. Based on what was available at the time, it's pretty much confirmed that this one's a 20 CV. Really cool knife, really special part of my collection, and made the top of the list. And then on the pen side, I have really been liking the FocusWorks Sidswipe pen. And he came out with this version with the mocha tie and zirca tie. There have only been a few like this. It's got this really nice satin finish on it. And the Ultim bolts, there are only 2 runs so far of these. So like right now, that is just one of the coolest pens. So taking up the number 5 spot would be this little pair of pen and knife glory. And man, these are both really cool and could play many different spots on the top 5 list, or could not be here. Taking up the number 4 spot, oh man, just in the Damas Steel Craig Brown Cortex XL. There have only been a handful of Damas Steel versions made, and this one has this crazy black Damascus inlays that are just crazy, how the blue hits the light and stuff, and the hand polished titanium. This is just a beautiful knife, and it would be hard to pick one of my favorites from my brown knives collection, but I did decide to go for that one. So taking up the number 4 spot, and almost like a beautiful match here. Man, this basket weave Damascus BilletSPIN EDC with the black zirca tie, I think it is, black Damascus, whatever it is, clip. I just forgot which one it is. So smooth when he switched this over to the Ultim inside on the mechanism. It's just a thing of beauty. And so is this pen. It is just a really, really cool one. I wanted to distill down my BilletSPIN collection. I sold my Fenja Damascus one yesterday, and this is the keeper of the 2, but a really, really cool pen there to take up the number 4 spot in terms of my kind of coolest, wildest in my collection. Maybe I'll move these up a little bit so they're a bit more centered in the screen, if you'll bear with me for a second here. Number 3, oh, this is so hard, but yeah, I'm going number 3 here. Oz Roosevelt. This is a very rare Chad Nichols Damascus with a ladder Damascus blade. Very hard to find Oz Roosevelts with Damascus blades. He only does them on special occasions. Number 2204 is probably one of the first 15 to 20 that were made with a Damascus blade. He did a few early on and didn't really do them for a while. And this one was a Maker's Syndicate special. He only did, I don't know, 6 or 8 in Damascus in the 2023 Maker's Syndicate. And this happened to be the one I liked the most, and I went very hard after trying to find it, and I got it. So really cool one there. And then on the pen side, really, really neat here from Confounded Machine. This is the first one that he ever did an ISO grip. This is Confounded Machine EDC Bolt number 300, and you can kind of see it in there. And when Kurt does his round numbers like 300, 400, etc., he makes those extra special. So the number 300, 400, 500 were the first three, if I recall correctly, in the ISO grip. And I got my favorite style, the full polished version there, matching pocket clip and everything. So just a very cool sort of first ever made ISO grip confounded machine, arguably one of the top 5 makers in pens right now. Very cool one. Number 2 spot, and I was really torn on these two, but we're going here with the Hansen Onyx. Definitely one of the coolest knives in the collection, and it's certainly not as crazy as some of them out there. You've seen some that have been put down here that have crazier builds, but man, super rare. He's only done, who knows, a few dozen of these Onyx total ever. Scott is a part-time knife maker, but man, he does some of the coolest work out there. And I got this one from Scott at Makers Syndicate 2023. Actually bought it on the spot with my number 5 spot in line, or whatever I had, top 10 spot in line. And that is just one of the coolest. Like, if I were to try and sell something fast, that would sell probably faster at table price than anything here on the table. Like, it would sell so fast. It's crazy. That's one of the rarest knives that I have, and just one of the coolest, most in-demand knives in my collection. I'm realizing I'm running out of space here, so I'm going to rearrange once again. This brings us to the number 2 spot on the pen, and I have here the Herman knives, or just Herman Epika, and I have a really cool build where I have a full hammered pocket clip, and then I think it's called the Tesseract milling on it. And to me, this just no anodized version. They've only done, like, I don't know, maybe one like this. This one happens to be number 128, but they've only made maybe 200, 300 of these pens so far, and this is the only one I've seen with this build, and it is just a really cool build. So was very happy to land that one on one of the drops, and it definitely is one of the coolest, like, just build pens that you just kind of look at it next to everything else. It's just on a different level in terms of fit finish and just sort of you know, fanciness, right up there probably with that BilletSPIN. So this brings us to the number 1 spot, and it was very, very hard decision on this, but man, the reception that this thing has had, the VC Edge interface full custom number 200, has just been astounding. I think everyone pretty much agrees this is one of the craziest knives that's ever made. 1.4 ounces, despite being just the same size as that Demko, is just insane. And the fit finish, the first one ever done with a thumb stud, the first one that you've ever been able to reverse flick. The crazy inlay here in the what would you call that? The tab, the flipper tab. The fact that this goes through all the way, the Damascus blade, the Timascus on the lock bar and on the pocket clip and on the backspacer, the floating backspacer, the windows so you can see the blade through it. I mean, just so many levels. Oh, the inlay of carbon fiber into carbon fiber. I mean, there's just the side cut carbon fiber for the handles. Just nothing he didn't do that was just crazy on this. And it is one of the wildest knives. It may not be, you know, your favorite aesthetic, or it may be, but just one of the craziest knives ever made. One of the craziest folding knives ever made, I think. So that's a really cool one there. Don't mess with the Hansen there, Herman pen. Come on now. And then lastly, taking up the number 1 spot on the pen side. Ooh, can we get that to balance? Whew. I had to pick one from the Smooth Precision Pens family, and it was hard not to pick this one. Full zirconium dragon with a full zirconium dragon clip. I mean, that is about as crazy as it gets. I have to really be thankful to a friend that I sold a bunch of really nice pens to that was willing to help me find this zirconium dragon, and I got it for close to table price, if not table price. And then I found this pocket clip, got super lucky on the Facebook group. I mean, that is just one of the craziest for a company that's out of business and everything. one of the craziest pens ever made in terms of like the machine pen world. And to have that, I think that's one of the coolest pens in my collection, personally, if not the coolest. But so many of my Smooth Precision pens are very high on my list, and I take a bunch of them over pretty much everything else just because I love that brand and what he did and the work he did so much. But man, all of these, I mean, I've got 100 plus pens, probably 100 knives again. I tried to get it down to like 75 and it crept back up, but I'm probably sitting around 90 or something and working my way back to 75 knives. These are the top 5 for each. And yeah, I mean, a lot of amazing innovation, ingenuity, creativity, design cues that make up what's on the table here to create really cool knives and pens. So that is about all for now. I hope you enjoyed that one. That's definitely one of my more fun types to do. And I look forward to bringing a few more out. There's definitely a pen arriving soon that could have gone in here. I have a Magnus Skelly coming in the mail, the skeletonized Magnus pen that could have easily contended with one of these 3, I would say. But it's good, get this out now, and then, you know, maybe 6 months or 12 months from now, we'll get to do this again. So for now, for today, here they are, the top 5 craziest, coolest knives and pens, the most, you know, overdone in my collection right now. And who knows what the future may bring. So yeah, if you enjoyed that, please feel free to like and subscribe, and I'll see you on the next one. Take care.